Ever sat down with a bowl of dried fruit or sliced into a juicy melon, feeling proud that you chose something healthy instead of cookies or chips? It feels like the right decision, especially when we're trying to take better care of ourselves. But here's the surprising truth. Some of the fruits we reach for, the ones we believe are safe, even beneficial, might actually be working against us. It usually starts small. A little dizziness after a snack. Maybe your heart skips a beat, or you wake up more tired than usual no matter how early you went to bed. You tell yourself it's just age. But deep down, something doesn't feel right. I've sat with so many thoughtful people who couldn't believe their fruit choices had anything to do with their blood pressure, blood sugar, or even their risk of stroke, because no one told them. No one explained that sugar can hide behind a healthy label, or that dried fruits, in particular, can interfere with certain medications. So today, let's talk clearly and gently about these quiet dangers. No fear, just truth, and a few simple changes you can start making today. Before we dive in, if you've ever chosen fruit thinking it was the smarter option, type 1 in the comments. If fruits never fooled you, type 0. And don't forget to subscribe, so you stay in the loop with Smart Health 365. Raisins, the sugar concentrate. You know that moment when you sprinkle raisins into oatmeal or toss them into a salad, thinking, it's natural, so it must be healthy? It's a common habit. But here's what most people don't realize. When grapes dry into raisins, the water disappears, but the sugar stays and becomes concentrated. Just one handful can have as much sugar as a candy bar. That sharp spike stresses your blood vessels, especially risky if you're managing diabetes, pre-diabetes, or simply the slower metabolism that comes with age. Why does this matter for your brain? Because repeated sugar spikes stiffen the lining of your arteries, making blood flow less flexible and smooth. Over time, plaque builds up, and oxygen-rich blood has a harder time reaching your brain. Doctors see this all the time. Patients think they're making a smart swap, cookies for trail mix, only to find out their healthy choice is quietly sabotaging them. One woman I spoke with had been eating raisins in her cereal every morning for years. After replacing them with fresh pear slices, her blood sugar levels improved within weeks. She was shocked, but relieved. If you love a little sweetness in your breakfast, try apple slices or fresh berries. They hydrate, nourish, and treat your blood vessels more kindly. Cantaloupe, the hidden risk. Now, let's move to a fruit that feels like summer itself. Cantaloupe. Its soft orange color, sweet aroma, and juicy flesh make it feel like the perfect light snack. But for some people, especially those with kidney issues or on certain medications, cantaloupe can be more dangerous than it seems. Why? Because it's high in potassium. Normally, potassium is great. It supports muscles and heart function. But when kidneys aren't working at full strength, excess potassium builds up, causing irregular heartbeats. You might only feel a flutter in your chest or lightheadedness, but that's your heart sounding the alarm. Then there's the sugar factor. Cantaloupe has a surprisingly high glycemic index. That means it raises blood sugar faster than you might expect. For older adults, that quick surge can trigger brain fog, mood swings, or an energy crash. One gentleman I knew ate cantaloupe every night after dinner. It was his dessert substitute, but his blood sugar kept spiking. After switching to a handful of berries, his levels stabilized, and he didn't even miss the melon. So, if you enjoy cantaloupe, keep it in moderation. A few cubes once in a while are fine, but large, frequent portions, especially if your kidneys are struggling, may do more harm than good. Banana chips, the snack in disguise. Now, let's talk about something crunchy that shows up in almost every trail mix. Banana chips. They look innocent, golden, and satisfying. You reach into the bag thinking, it's just fruit. It can't be bad for me. But here's the truth. Most banana chips aren't just dried. They're deep fried in oils and coated with sugar. What you're actually eating is closer to a dessert than a health snack. The frying process adds trans fats, the kind that literally harden arteries like glue. Add the sugar, and you've got a double hit. Fats and sugars teaming up to weaken your blood vessels and spike blood sugar. The sneaky part is that it doesn't feel like junk food. You don't feel guilty eating it. It feels natural. And that's why it's so deceptive. One older gentleman I knew kept a bowl of banana chips on his kitchen table. He thought it was his healthy treat while watching TV, but he couldn't figure out why he felt sluggish, dizzy, and mentally foggy. Once he switched to apple slices and almonds, his energy came back. So remember this: you don't need to give up snacking, but you deserve snacks that love your body back. That means checking the labels and skipping fried, sugary fruit snacks. If you want crunch, go for roasted nuts or crisp vegetables. Your heart and brain will thank you. Mulberries, the medication clash. Finally, let's take a look at a fruit that seems innocent, even nostalgic. Mulberries. Maybe you remember picking them as a child, purple juice staining your fingers. They look like nature's candy. And yes, mulberries are praised for their antioxidants. But here's the catch: they also contain concentrated natural sugars, especially when dried. For many older adults on blood sugar medications, this can create a dangerous clash. Sometimes, dried mulberries push blood sugar too high. Other times, they cause it to drop too low, especially when combined with medication. That sudden crash can leave you shaky, confused, or worse. I spoke with a woman who added dried mulberries to her breakfast every day. She thought they were helping. Instead, she experienced dizzy spells and trembling hands. Her doctor eventually realized the mulberries were interfering with her medication, creating a roller coaster of highs and lows. Your brain's blood vessels don't like that kind of stress. They need steady energy, not sharp spikes and crashes. Over time, those ups and downs weaken circulation and raise stroke risk. So if you love mulberries, enjoy them fresh, in moderation, and always check how they interact with your medications. So, what can you do? If you love mulberries, fresh is best, and in small amounts. But if you're on blood sugar medication, talk to your doctor. Better to adjust now than be caught off guard later. Dried cranberries. Coming up next, let's explore a fruit you often find in granola and holiday snacks, but it hides more sugar than you'd expect. Dried cranberries. Just the name sounds festive, doesn't it? You see them tossed into granola, sprinkled over salads, or baked into muffins. Their bright red color makes them look so fresh and healthy. But beneath that ruby glow lies a whole lot of added sugar. Cranberries, in their natural form, are very tart. That's why manufacturers coat them with sugar, sometimes more than double their weight. The result? A small handful of dried cranberries can have as much sugar as a piece of candy. And if you're trying to care for your heart or keep blood sugar steady, that's a big deal. Here's where it gets worse. Added sugar doesn't just spike blood glucose. It also causes long-term inflammation in your arteries. Over time, your blood vessels stiffen, lose flexibility, and build up plaque. That makes it harder for your brain to get oxygen-rich blood. I remember a man in his 70s who added dried cranberries to his salad every day. He thought he was being healthy, but he kept having dizzy spells and fatigue. His doctor reviewed his diet and pointed straight to the cranberries. Once he replaced them with fresh blueberries, his energy improved and his blood pressure stabilized. The truth is, dried cranberries aren't evil, but they are tricky. If you love them, look for versions with no added sugar. Or better yet, reach for fresh fruit like oranges or grapes. Your brain and blood vessels will thank you. Dried apricots. Next, let's talk about a sweet golden fruit that seems harmless, but can quietly stiffen your arteries. Apricots. Soft, golden, slightly tart. They feel like the kind of snack a caring grandparent would keep in a jar. And fresh apricots are healthy. But once they're dried, the story changes. When apricots are dried, their sugars concentrate. A few pieces might seem light, but they deliver a heavy load of sugar. And because they're small, it's easy to eat too many without realizing it. Natural sugar in dried apricots acts just like added sugar. Repeated spikes make arteries lose flexibility, the first step toward atherosclerosis. One woman I met kept dried apricots in her purse, thinking they were a smart, low-fat snack. But over time, she developed high blood pressure and constant fatigue. When she switched to fresh peaches or apples, her energy returned. It's not about cutting out dried fruit completely. It's about awareness. Fresh fruits give you water and fiber, which help your body process sugar more gently. Honeydew melon. Up next, let's cool things down with a green fruit often seen in fruit salads, but it may be raising your blood pressure behind the scenes. Honeydew melon. Smooth outside, pale green and juicy inside. It feels light, refreshing, and healthy. But for some people, especially over 60, honeydew offers more sugar than your body can handle. Honeydew is naturally high in sugar, even if it doesn't taste very sweet. That's the sneaky part. You think it's mild, but bite after bite, it sends glucose into your bloodstream. And since it's hydrating, it's easy to eat too much. What happens then? Blood sugar spikes. If your body can't keep up because of age or insulin resistance, your arteries feel the strain. Over time, vessels lose flexibility. That makes it harder for your heart to pump smoothly to your brain. That's when brain fog sets in. That's when stroke risk climbs. I knew a man who made a fruit smoothie every morning with honeydew. He thought it gave him energy. Instead, he felt cloudy, needed naps, and sometimes had heart palpitations. His morning melon was giving him more sugar than he needed. If you love honeydew, don't give it up. Just keep portions small. Half a cup is enough. Pair it with nuts to slow sugar absorption. Pluots! Finally, let's finish with a fruit that looks like a fun summer treat but can deliver more sugar than you expect. Pluot. Part plum, part apricot. Colorful, juicy, and bred to be extra sweet. But that sweetness comes with a price. Even a small piece delivers a sharp hit of sugar. If you have diabetes, pre-diabetes, or age-related insulin resistance, Pluots can tip the balance fast. The problem isn't just the sugar, it's the speed. Your blood sugar spikes, your pancreas scrambles, your arteries tense. Over time, this repeated stress wears down your vessels, especially those feeding the brain. One man I knew ate Pluots after dinner, thinking they were better than dessert, but he often woke up at night restless, with a pounding heart. Once he switched to kiwi, he finally slept well again. If you enjoy Pluots, treat them like dessert, not a daily habit. A few slices once in a while, maybe with protein or healthy fat, can soften the impact. Now that we've uncovered the hidden side of these fruits, here's the takeaway. Even the most innocent looking fruits can cause harm when we're not paying attention. It's not about blaming the fruit, it's about how our bodies change with age. What once worked may not work the same anymore. The good news? Small changes make a big difference. Swap dried fruit for fresh. Cut back on overly sweet options. Choose fruits kinder to your blood vessels. These aren't sacrifices. They're gifts to your future self. You deserve to feel clear, steady, and strong. Your brain, heart, and body thrive when you give them proper care. So next time you reach for a snack, pause. Ask yourself, is this serving my health or just my habit? Thank you for spending this time with me today. Wherever you are on your health journey, know this, you're not alone. There's always something you can do. And there's always time to begin. Take care of yourself. You matter more than you know.